Disrespect is the silent poison that eats away at your power before you even realize the damage. It's the subtle glance, the dismissive tone, the smirk behind your back, the moments that chip away at your mind's fortress. Machiavelli understood that to be disrespected is to lose your invisible crown, to give others the permission to tear you down. But what if I told you that disrespect isn't something that happens to you, it's something you allow? That no one dares disrespect the man who has mastered his mind, his reactions, and his presence? The key lies in transformation, from prey to predator, from reactive to untouchable. The first never shows that disrespect hurts you. The moment your emotions betray your calm, you give away your control. The weak respond with anger or hurt, the strong respond with silence and strategy. Imagine a world where insults bounce off you like rain off stone. This is not about suppressing feelings, it's about commanding your emotional realm so fiercely that no one's jab lands. When you carry yourself like a man who has no need for anyone's approval, disrespect becomes meaningless. It evaporates in the presence of your indifference. To build this mental armor, you must recognize the battlefield where disrespect plays out, the mind. Most men fight with their fists, their words, or their social networks. But the true war is silent, internal, psychological. Your reaction to disrespect is the terrain others try to conquer. If you flinch, they advance. If you retaliate recklessly, they gain leverage. But if you master the art of controlled response, you hold the key to dismantling their power. This is a game of chess, not checkers. Control your narrative without explaining it. When someone tries to disrespect you, they are fishing for a reaction, any reaction. Don't feed their hunger. The Machiavellian mind knows that the less you justify yourself, the stronger you become. Silence, ambiguity, and calm make others uneasy. They want your explanation, your apology, your break in composure. Deny them. Let your actions speak later, with a precision that leaves no room for doubt or debate. Understanding disrespect also means decoding its source. It is never random. It's always a reflection of weakness or fear in others. Those who disrespect are insecure men seeking validation by lowering others. When you grasp this, their words lose power. They become cries for attention from small minds. Your job is not to fix their insecurity but to raise your own standards so high that their attempts feel like futile noise. You become a mountain no storm can erode. This transformation demands ruthless self-awareness. You must identify every trigger that makes you vulnerable to disrespect. Is it your pride? Your ego? Your desire for belonging? Pinpoint it, expose it, and dismantle it. A man who knows his weaknesses and faces them without flinching builds a mind so sharp that disrespect cannot pierce it. It's like forging steel in fire. The stronger the heat, the harder the blade. Physical presence is the silent language of respect. You do not need to announce your power with words. Your posture, your eye contact, your calm breathing all speak volumes. People read your energy before you say a word. If you walk like a man who owns his space, people hesitate before crossing boundaries. The Machiavellian principle here is clear: power is perceived long before it is demonstrated. Make your presence a warning sign. But power also comes from unpredictability. When people know how you will react, they test your limits. Be unpredictable in your emotional responses. Sometimes ignore, sometimes respond coldly, sometimes remove yourself entirely. This breaks their script. They no longer know what to expect, and uncertainty breeds caution. When you refuse to be predictable, you deny them the comfort of manipulation. Mastering disrespect means mastering boundaries. This is non-negotiable. If someone crosses your line, act swiftly and decisively. Hesitation invites repeated offenses. But your response must be measured, not emotional. It should teach without escalating, correct without chaos. Your calm but firm reaction becomes a psychological barrier, a clear message that disrespect is met with consequence, not chaos. Mental strength is built in solitude. The more you can be alone with your thoughts, the less you depend on external validation. Isolation is a crucible where you forge the mind capable of withstanding disrespect. Most men fear loneliness and chase distractions to escape it. But the Machiavellian mind embraces silence, uses it to sharpen focus, and grow indifferent to the noise of others. Rejection and disrespect often walk hand in hand. To be disrespected is to be rejected by someone's value system. But your value is not determined by others' acceptance. The more you internalize this truth, the more resilient you become. You no longer seek to prove yourself. Instead, you prove yourself through action, through consistency, through a presence that cannot be ignored or dismissed. A terrifying mind holds grudges not in bitterness but as a silent strategy. It remembers without emotional baggage. It archives disrespect as intelligence, data to be used when the moment is right. The Machiavellian does not waste energy on immediate revenge but plans long-term consequences that are precise, effective, and irreversible. This makes you untouchable. Because your retaliation is not a reaction, it's a dismantling. Respect is a currency earned through authenticity and mastery. People respect what they cannot replicate easily. Develop skills, knowledge, habits, and a mindset so refined that imitation is impossible. The more you perfect yourself, the more disrespect shrinks to insignificance. Because when you embody power internally, disrespect bounces off your armor like a pebble on steel. This is your path. Build the mind, the presence, and the strategy that makes disrespect irrelevant. Become the man whose silence commands respect, whose actions demand attention, and whose mind terrifies even the most audacious challenges. No one will dare disrespect you again, not because you intimidate with noise, but because you dominate with invisible force. Most men crumble because disrespect triggers their ego. They lash out, beg for approval, or retreat in silence. But you must train your mind to treat disrespect as irrelevant noise. When an insult hits, your first instinct should not be to respond, but to absorb, analyze, and neutralize internally. This turns every disrespectful moment into a lesson and every attack into fuel. Emotional control is your shield and sword simultaneously, deflecting harm and cutting away weaknesses. To wield this control, cultivate detachment without apathy. You care deeply about your purpose and standards but remain detached from the opinions and judgments that aim to destabilize you. This is not coldness, it is clarity. Detachment creates distance between your identity and external chaos, allowing you to choose your battles and responses deliberately. It renders disrespect powerless because it cannot pierce a mind that doesn't internalize external noise. Silence is one of your deadliest weapons. When disrespected, do not rush to fill the void with words or excuses. Silence forces the aggressor to confront their own emptiness. It unsettles because it denies them validation or conflict. In silence, you keep control. Your quiet strength unsettles the loudest voices and shifts power to you. People respect the man who controls his voice, not the man who loses it. Another essential tactic is selective engagement. Not all disrespect deserves your energy. Learn to recognize when silence suffices and when a calibrated response is necessary. Respond too much, and you appear weak. Respond too little, and you invite further disrespect. The Machiavellian mind calculates risk and reward before every interaction. You strike only when the payoff is undeniable. Otherwise, you conserve your power. Your presence must be an unspoken warning. This goes beyond body language, it is the totality of your energy. It's the calm before the storm, the eye in the chaos. People feel this presence instinctively, they sense that crossing you will result in consequences far beyond words. You don't have to say anything for your presence to dominate a room. Your aura alone sets the boundary, keeping disrespectful behavior at bay. To build this presence, develop mastery over your environment. Control your space, your time, and your social circle. Disrespect often arises when you allow others to dictate the terms of engagement. You must dictate your own terms relentlessly. Be the gatekeeper of your energy. Let only those who respect your standards enter your sphere. This selective association strengthens your mind by reducing unnecessary conflict and distraction. Remember, no one respects weakness disguised as kindness. The Machiavellian mind balances compassion with ruthless self-interest. You do not tolerate disrespect in the name of peace. You understand that peace built on your submission is temporary and fragile. Real peace is the result of undisputed power. When others know you will not tolerate disrespect, they act accordingly. This eliminates repeated offenses and commands lasting respect. You must also learn to weaponize reputation. Your history of calm, firm responses to disrespect creates an invisible ledger in people's minds. Each time someone witnesses your unshakable stance, it builds your legend. This reputation precedes you and deters potential challenges. People choose not to disrespect you because the cost is too high. Cultivate and protect this reputation carefully. Inner confidence comes from relentless preparation. The strong mind is never caught off guard. You study, you anticipate, you rehearse your responses in the silence of your mind. This preparation breeds certainty. Certainty breeds calm. Calm breeds respect. When you walk into any situation fully prepared, disrespect loses its power because you already control the outcome mentally. Do not confuse confidence with arrogance. Arrogance invites confrontation. Confidence commands respect silently. Confidence is rooted in skill, knowledge, and self-awareness. Arrogance is a fragile mask over insecurity. Develop real confidence by doing the hard work others avoid. Let your results, not your ego, speak for you. The final layer in this transformation is strategic patience. Respect is not always instant. Sometimes it must be earned over time through consistent demonstration of strength and integrity. You must resist the urge to demand respect immediately. Instead, build it through your unwavering conduct. The man who patiently endures disrespect without collapse eventually forces the world to acknowledge his power. When the time is right, your response will not be reactionary, it will be decisive and final. Machiavelli taught that timing is everything in power dynamics. Your comeback to disrespect should be so clean, so surgical, and so unexpected that it permanently alters the dynamic. This is not petty revenge but calculated justice. It leaves no room for repeated offenses. At this level, disrespect becomes a liability for others. They learn quickly that crossing you threatens their own position and safety. Your mind becomes a fortress that discourages all but the boldest from attempting an assault. But those bold attempts fail because your mental defense is impregnable. You've transformed disrespect from a wound into a weapon. You are no longer the target, you are the force. No one will dare disrespect you again after this transformation. Not because you threaten with noise or anger, but because you wield invisible power. You master your mind, control your reactions, command your presence, and execute your strategy with surgical precision. You become a man whose respect is not demanded but inherited by default. This is Machiavellian mastery, the art of ruling yourself so fully that others are powerless to undermine you.